Hail thee well, and welcome all. I'm the Jake of all trades, and this is episode 2 of my Dungeon Master Masterclass. At the end of last episode, I said we were going to be creating your first adventure for this game, and that's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you how to use this resource that I found online called the Random Adventure Generator to create some quests for your players to explore. I'm going to show you how to use this Random Adventure Generator to create some quests using the parameters of the generator. And after we go through it, I'm going to show you how to I'm going to make some examples live, and I'm going to make an easy one, a medium, and a hard one, and just to give you an idea of how to roll on those tables. And after that, I'm going to show you how to write those stories, how to write the quests, how to write the stories for the quests, and integrate those into your plot, or seed them to your players believably. And by the end of it, you should have a pretty comprehensive knowledge of this resource. You should have a pretty good idea of how to use it. I'm going to be providing a link down here in the video description, and I'll give you a moment to scroll down and click on that if you want to follow along. Otherwise, we will just start to get into it. First things first, I want to note the flexibility of this Random Adventure Generator. It's really cool. You only need to roll what you need for a quest. Like, if you already have an idea of something that you want your players to do, or where you need them to go, but you need help generating perhaps a quest contact, or some twists or turns near the end of the quest, this is a really great resource. You only really need to roll what you want to roll to generate what you need. I'm going to be just giving you just a straight walkthrough, though, steps 1 through the end, and when I do my quest generation, I'll do all of the steps as well, even if I get some other cool ideas. I want to try to do it just straight off of these tables, just so you can see how robust the system is and how much you can do with it. Alright, so here we start. Step 1 is the quest contact. Who do the players get the quest from? Who is the quest giver? What's going on? And as you can see, there's quite a few options here. And in the PDF, the link that I sent you there, if you click on that, each one of these names or titles here has a little descriptor to give you a little better idea of what it is. But I'll do a quick run through here. Number 1, and you roll a d12 on all of these tables. That's the other cool thing, is you use a d12 to generate all of these quest parameters. That's the other cool thing that I really like about it, because it harkens back to that, random tables and, quests and generated from dice rolls and stuff like that. I really like that. So, but anyway, number 1 is a spirit, a ghost, or a demon, and that's pretty straightforward. A lot of these are pretty straightforward. Number 2, guild, blacksmith, friend or family. Is someone writing them a letter? Is it a friend who's nearby who's telling them about this? Is it a gang of bandits who they spot in a tavern and they notice they're a little tougher and they might be able to help them with a problem? Is the royalty in town? Do they have a problem that needs helping? Happenstance, that's just it randomly happens. It's there, they're in the tavern when the quest kind of falls into their laps, sort of thing. A local hero, a local temple, straightforward stuff. Straightforward. I like this roll twice as well. That's to add complications to it, or to make it a little more interesting. I like the roll twice because to me it's like a way of really pushing a quest on your players. Like, if you really want them to take this quest because it's really important, but you don't want them to know that it's really important, you just want to imply it, sort of. You want them to pick up that it's important. You have a couple people come to them. Perhaps the royalty is looking to solve the same problem that they get a letter from a family member talking about the same overrun temple or something. And that way, it's like, well, now it's not just a thing for this player who's trying to get the rest of the party to go along with it. It's a quest from the royalty, and now the whole party wants to be a part of it. And so this is the quest contact. This is the first step of your quest generation, is who is giving the players the quest. Now we're on to step 2, which I have pulled up here, the adventure itself. And again, we're rolling 1d12, and we're going to try to figure out what kind of quest we're going to be running. So starting at the top again, we have an escape a survival quest. The party is transported somewhere unfamiliar. They just wake up randomly in some unknown locale or somewhere, and they need to try to figure out how to escape or how they're going to survive. Number 2, find someone or something. Pretty straightforward. The players need to track down someone or something that has gone missing or needs to be found. Number 3, harm or kill someone. This is like a mercenary or an assassination kind of contract. They either need to rough someone up to let them know they mean business, or they need to actually end someone's life for some reason. And we'll get into how or why you might need to do that, or who it will be in just a moment. Step 4, kidnap or capture someone. Again, a little dubious in nature. You might not want to have your players do this, but it's kind of nice if you're, if you want to just create like a truly random quest. That is something random that you might need to do at some point. You need to prevent something from happening. It could be a catastrophe. It could be, calamity. It could be it's something bad that the players need to try to prevent. Number 6, protect someone or something. Again, it's a bodyguard mission. They need to make sure that no harm comes to that person, and that they survive long enough to pay them. Number 7, reconnaissance or surveillance. The players need to not fight anything or do anything, but they need to do some gathering of information. They need to do some scouting and stuff like that. Number 8, they need to rescue someone. Straight up, princess in a tower. That princess needs rescuing. Number 9, solve a mystery. Classic. You gotta have, mysteries are great, and I love that this was included on an adventure list, because it truly shows you the scope of quests that you can create. There's all kinds of things, and a mystery is one of them. Number 10, steal or destroy something. The One Ring must be destroyed by being thrown into the fires of Mount Doom, right? That's an epic level quest right there, and it's meant to destroy something. That's the whole quest. Number 11, they need to transport something or escort someone somewhere. And that's a fun one. I think you get to roll on another table to determine who or what you're saving or transporting, sorry. And that's for anytime you see something, there's a table for rolling on something, which we'll get to, and there's a table for someone. And there's also a table for locations, which I think is the third one. And if you bear with me just a moment, we'll get there. Number 12 is discovery, which is the players, they hear about something, maybe the Wizards Academy nearby has found some local ruins, but they're pretty dangerous, and they need the players to try to clear them out so that the Wizards can go in and do their research. So that's step 2. That's the adventure, and this is going to be the meat and potatoes of your quest building experience. Also, another thing, if you're looking at the PDF, you'll see at the very top there's a little star. It says if you want to roll twice on this table, you can, and that is like a double mission. It makes it a little more interesting. There's more stuff that needs to be done. There's more parameters that need to be completed before a reward can be claimed. So that's step 2. We're moving on to step 3. And here we are, step 3, as you can see, the location. Where is the quest at? Where does it take place? Where are we leading our party? Number 1, going right down again, bandit territory. Bandit territory. This is these are lands that bandits live in. That it's very well known that this is a area full of highwaymen and robbers and people who are looking to steal what you own. Number 2, a mansion or estate. I like this, if you roll on a mystery, you can roll 2 on this table and have a mystery in a mansion. You have a murder mystery, essentially. I think that's awesome. Number 3, swamp or a flooded area. Very classic. This is just a great locales. Very, very, they draw lots of images to mind, and it's very easy for the players to create these landscapes themselves. You don't have to do a lot of work describing it to them. Number 4, an island. That's great for like the survival one. They randomly wake up on an island and they need to figure out how to get off. It's like an escape room kind of. A fortress. They need to transport someone to a fortress or something like that. Maybe it's royalty if you've rolled on this other table up here. A scalding desert. I think it's funny that they included scalding. Like, aren't all deserts supposed to be scalding? I don't know. An overgrown forest. Again, very, very vivid images that come to mind when these words come at you. Overgrown forest, very dense. It's dark, perhaps. Not a lot of sunlight is reaching the ground levels. Number 8, simply urban, and that's pretty straightforward. It's in a city somewhere. It's in a nice big city, a metropolis perhaps. 9, mountains and caves. This is like mountainous areas and caves that exist within those cliff faces and stuff like that. Number 10, a jail or detention camp. Again, that's great for an escape or a survival quest. I like the idea that they have to break out of jail. I feel like that's just that's like classic, trope stuff right there, Number 11, an ocean. It takes place out on the ocean somewhere. Number 12, underground. I wasn't very happy that they have caves and then underground, but after I read a little more, underground includes like, mine shafts and abandoned temples and anything like that essentially. It's like your dungeons is kind of what you could call it. I should have put dungeon in parentheses there. But those are the locations that you can take your players on for their questing. Now we're moving on to step 4, which is someone or something, maybe both. Okay, step 4. Here we are. Now we are at the MacGuffin, or something as it is. They say the MacGuffin in on the title of the PDF for this page number. It's the MacGuffin. And for those of you who don't know what a MacGuffin is, it's a trope word essentially. It's like one of those TV trope things. A MacGuffin is an item that they are looking for, that the party or the protagonist is trying to get their hands on, and it doesn't even have to be anything. You don't even have to see the end result of what happens, when they get it, or once the quest is completed. It's one of those things that it's implied that this is like something very, very important that needs to be kept out of the wrong hands, or it needs to be found, or it needs to be recovered, or any number of things here. So that's what a MacGuffin is essentially. It's just any vague thing that serves a plot point. It's a plot driver essentially, is a MacGuffin. So I didn't want to assume that you guys knew what that was. I'm sure that a lot of you did though. Number 1 though is golden valuables. Something very valuable, or a treasure or trove has been stolen, and the players need to find out what it or find it. Number 2, information. They need to find some vital bit of information, and they need to relay that information back to the person who gave them the quest. Number 3, they need to find an endangered species, or a dangerous creature of some kind, a dangerous animal, something. Perhaps it's very rare and it's exotic and it's worth a bunch of coin, and they found someone who really wants to get their hands on one of these things. Number 4, a magical experiment of some kind, Philosopher's Stone or something like that. It can be pretty powerful stuff if it falls into the wrong hands. Number 5, simply it's a key. It's just a key to unlock a lock of some kind. You can be very discreet. You can be kind of loose with what kind of key it is. Maybe it's just a simple, skeleton key, or maybe it's something like a sword that needs to be planted in a wall, and like the specific ends of the hilt lock into sections, kind of like a key would. That's up to you. Number 6, land. I thought this one was kind of silly as like a MacGuffin. Like, really, they need to get their hands on land, like they're just trying to like land grab or something. But then the description says like, well, yeah, the land, but more importantly, whatever is on the land then becomes party to, or it becomes part of the party's possessions essentially. So that's why they would want to. Maybe there's a hidden cave or an abandoned temple or something that they hear about and they want to clear it out, or they want rights to it, but they need to get rights to the land first. Number 7, medicine. They need to get an antidote to this person, otherwise this disease or affliction will kill them or become permanent or something like that. Number 8, a person. The MacGuffin is a person. Maybe that's your princess in a tower again. The MacGuffin is the princess. That's what needs rescuing. That's the plot driver. Number 9, a possession or an item. Just something, maybe it's something that belongs to the quest giver, something of importance to them, even if it's not worth anything really materially or valuably, like it's not worth money necessarily, but it has great sentimental value to the quest giver, and so that is why that's why the party needs to find it. Number 10, a secret. They need to discover some sort of secret or something, and relay that information to their quest giver. Number 11, a technology. They need to find some powerful technology that is in danger of falling into the wrong hands, or perhaps it already has fallen into the wrong hands, and the party now needs to get it back before the enemy can interpret the information and use it against them. And number 12 is a treasure. That's just, again, kind of like golden valuables. It's like some of these, they seem like they might overlap with each other a little bit, but with treasure, that can be just sort of anything that doesn't fit in with a gold or valuable. Maybe it's something, I don't know. It's treasure. That's up to you to decide. Magic items, perhaps. Valuable magic items or unique magic items that the party's not going to be able to find anywhere else. I don't know. That's up to you. So that last table was if you rolled for something when you were generating a quest, but this next table that I'm pulling up is the innocence, and this is if you rolled for someone on your quest. And this is like if you need to transport someone, or you need to kill someone, or harm someone. This is the list that you roll on, the type of people who you're looking to kill, or to transport, or protect. Number 1, royalty. You need to protect the royalty from some terrible threat that is coming for them, or the royalty the princess needs to be transported between cities. Number 2, there's a child. Perhaps a child saw something that they weren't supposed to, and now there are angry creatures coming after it. We'll figure out what kind of antagonists we're going to have very shortly. I think it's the next step or two we're going to do that. Number 3, a family or a friend is the person who they need to help, is the innocent person who needs their help. Number 4, a local hero. Just because they're a hero doesn't mean that they don't need help every once in a while also. Number 5, a wizard. Same rules apply for the local hero. Just because they're a powerful wizard who can bend, space and reality doesn't mean that they don't need help scratching their back every once in a while. Number 6, refugees. This is a cool one, if you like watching Avatar or stuff like that, you can always find, there's always good quests with refugees where you need to transport refugees. Like there's refugees trying to get across this Great Canyon, the Great Divide, and Avatar Aang needs to figure out how to lead these 2 tribes of refugees that hate each other across this valley. Number 7, a scavenger or a pauper. This is just some, broke beggar in the city, Maybe, you may not like him because he's kind of lame, but that doesn't mean you want anything bad to happen to him. Maybe someone else likes him and they're offering a reward. I did a quest like that just recently. Number 8, a beast. Some magical beast or something is the innocent person that needs to be protected. Perhaps it's a rare one-of-a-kind animal. Maybe it's like a unicorn, the last unicorn, and someone is trying to hunt it down and kill it, and you need to try to protect it. That's your bodyguard mission. Number 9, explorers. Maybe there's some explorers, but they're not actually very fit to explore. They're kind of weak and soft, and so they're hiring some bodyguards or someone to help transport them or escort them from one city to another. Number 10, a witness. This is great. Someone saw something they weren't supposed to see, and now some other people want to kill them. It's up to the party to protect them. Number 11, a ghost or a spirit. This is a really cool one as well. I like the idea of like a ghost inhabiting a dungeon or something like that, and that is the object and the encounter for the night. Is not necessarily a fight with this ghost, but trying to figure out why this ghost is still here and how to free it from this mortal coil. And number 12 is a dragon. This is cool that they put a dragon on this list. I feel like the list should be longer whenever you're going to include a dragon than 12. Like 12 just seems like the odds are too good that there's going to be a dragon somewhere here or there. But, you're generating these stuff on the fly, typically before a game starts, and you can swap out stuff. If you roll a dragon and you're like, that doesn't really fit with what I have, you can roll for something else. But I think it's cool that they included it. I did roll for a dragon on one of mine, and I figured out, I decided it was a dragon egg that needs transporting. But don't tell that to my players. And now we get to the fun part, the antagonists. It's time to find out who is harassing your party, who is the thorn in their side, who is causing them all of this grief. What is the reason for the quest in the first place? We have number 1 at the top of the list. We have a bounty hunter. A bounty hunter is your antagonist. Number 2, a con man. Someone is just swindling money from local vendors or something like that. Number 3, a guild. A local guild is your antagonist. Or a horde. Maybe a horde of barbarians or orcs or orc barbarians. Who knows? Number 4, royalty is the antagonist. I like that royalty comes up on a lot of these lists. I like that the royalty could be the quest giver for perhaps a royalty escort quest in which another member of the royal family could be the antagonist. That sounds really cool to me. That's kind of like Princess Bride or something like that. Royalty against royalty, sort of. Humperdinck against Princess Buttercup. Number 5, you have a crime lord. Crime lord is the antagonist. Very classic stuff. Number 6, a magic user. Someone with some powerful magical abilities is the antagonist. Number 7, there is a wanted villain in the area, and he is the person that the party is fighting against. Number 8, a group of mercenaries, perhaps. Mercenaries can also be one of the quest givers, I believe, as well as a guild can be a quest giver, which is really fun. I like that both of those could be givers and also antagonists. People who might be in maybe different guilds don't want this other guild that you're working for to succeed. Number 9, a priest or a cult. That's pretty cool. Brings in that religious angle. Everyone loves a group of fanatic cultists that you can just, kill without remorse. Number 10, magical beasts. Think like werewolves or something. That's the quest my players are currently working on. They have some magical beast antagonists who are werewolves. Number 11, a rampaging monster. Some giant monster. Maybe it's a dragon, maybe it's a Tarrasque. Something crazy huge is just going on a rampage and destroying the countryside. Number 12, we have assassins as antagonists. Great antagonists right there. Assassins are just, it's like ninjas. They're just classic. Moving right along, we now get to step 6, which is twists and complications in your adventure. And this is an optional page. You don't have to roll on this one. This is if you want to create a little, you want a little more body to that quest. You want it to take a little bit longer. You want something interesting to happen. It's not good for maybe lower level quests or quests that you're just starting out on, but after your players kind of have a feel for how you're doing things, or after they've gained a few levels, it could be beneficial to throw in a few of these. It just makes things more interesting and more interactive. It's kind of like rolling twice on your adventure table, except that these are just like the really cool twists that come along later on, like perhaps 2/3 of the way through the mission or near the end of the mission they start to see some of these. So starting at the top here again, we have ally with the enemy. At some points in the quest, they have to ally with the person who they set out against, one of their antagonists they end up siding with for some reason. Number 2, they get betrayed by their contract. Whoever signed them up for the quest was not entirely truthful with them, and they are now being set up. Number 3, a disaster. Some kind of disaster happens. Maybe it's a flood, maybe it's a tornado, a volcano erupts while the players are nearby, and now they have to deal with that too. Number 4, diversion. The quest wasn't a diversion. It was all just like it was a setup just to get them distracted so that they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Number 5, they have a dodgy ally. Maybe the person who gave them the quest, worth a lot of money, isn't being entirely faithful with them, or they don't think he's being entirely faithful with them. Number 6, a false flag. This one's kind of like the diversion or being betrayed by your contact. I don't know if they should have included this as one. But a false flag is like they set you up, but it's like a purpose, intentional setup, and they're really just trying to throw you off of their scent. Number 7, technology is the twist or complication. There's some unforeseen consequence maybe with this technology that's being used. Or maybe the enemy figures out how to use it. Now we get down to an old enemy comes up, and that's a good twist. Is there going to be a recurring villain who appears? An old friend is number 9. That's even better in my opinion. Someone who the party has worked with in the past comes up, and maybe they're opposed to the party for some reason. Number 10. A third force, some other force also gets involved. It's kind of like the battle with 5 armies or something like that. It's just a bunch of people kind of come together, and even though they don't really have any business with one or the other, they all kind of want the same thing. Number 11, there's a time limit. Some time limit is imposed. I like this one with like the medicine quest, like, perhaps someone, the king was like scratched by a werewolf or something, and the players have to get the medicine to him by sundown, or else the effects of the lycanthropy will become permanent. And so they have a time limit. They need to get it there by sundown. And number 12 is a trap. The quest itself, the entire thing was just an elaborate ruse to get the party somewhere where their real enemies can do them in. And so these are your twists and complications. And like I said, you don't have to roll on this table if you don't want to. If you feel like you've already got enough material for a pretty lengthy quest, you might not need it. But if you want a little something interesting, or you want to throw your players for a loop, something to catch them off guard, then you can roll on this table. And you can roll a few times if you want to. You can roll for multiple complications for this mission on this table if you want to make it really interesting or, really confusing. I don't know. And finally, we get to step 7, which is the dramatic conflict. And as with the last step, this one is an optional step. If you want to add some of these conflicts into your quest, you can do that. If you think your players can handle it, or you want something a little more interesting to happen. And these are a great tool for creating more tension within a quest, and specifically it creates tension between characters within the party, perhaps, or characters and NPCs, or within the party, just within characters themselves. Maybe your character will have an internal quandaries with doing some of this stuff. So it's really great for that, and we'll do a quick run through like we did the others. Number 1 is destruction. Completing this mission will cause a lot of destruction. So perhaps some people are going to die, or some landmarks are going to be destroyed, or something like that. And it's up to the players to decide whether or not it's worth it. Number 2, economic harm. Because of the players, a lot of people are going to become a lot poorer, and there's nothing that they can really do about it. It's all in the players' hands too. That's the cool thing about all of these, is that it's all with the players. Like, the players have to bear the weight of these decisions. It's great. That's why it's great for tension and conflict. Number 3, environmental damage. The adventure will harm the land in some incredible way, either through magical means or natural effect, but it's going to be uninhabitable or impossible to grow crops or something like that. Number 4, family or friend. Someone that the players know, like directly, is going to be harmed as a direct result of them doing this quest. And it's up to them to decide, is it worth it or not? Again. Number 5, honor. The players gave their word, and now they have to go back on it. And there's not really any other consequences except that they lose face for it. Number 6, innocence. Innocent people are someone who isn't involved is going to end up dying because of their actions or because of this adventure. Number 7, justice. It's not about the law, it's about what's right and what's wrong. Someone's either going to escape the law who shouldn't, or someone is being falsely convicted because of this quest or something that the players are doing. Number 8, loyalty. A player owes an allegiance to someone or something, and this adventure is going to conflict with those loyalties. Something in this adventure is going to cause them to have to go against their loyalties. Maybe they lose the aid of a powerful NPC because they do something that the NPC didn't agree with. Or maybe it's something like the kingdom. They do something to aid another kingdom, and now the kingdom they originally fought for doesn't want to have anything to do with them anymore. Number 9, morality. You need to do something morally wrong to finish this adventure. There's going to be some like torture or murder or some other very unethical things. Something unethical is going to happen, and the players have to do it if they want to complete this quest. Number 10, reputation. The players are going to suffer a loss of reputation for doing this quest, or even for taking this quest, potentially. I guess that depends on the quest. Number 11, truth. Ultimately, the players are going to have to either suppress the truth in some way, or they're going to have to propagate a lie. I guess those are both kind of the same thing. The players need to be dishonest in some way to complete this quest. And number 12, finally, we get to wealth. And this is a great one because everyone loves money and no one likes losing it. And this is a great way to steal your players' money, perhaps. So yeah, if they complete this quest, they're going to suffer a great loss of fortune. And so that's it. Those are the 7 steps for creating your own random adventure. And this video got kind of long without me intending to. I was going to do an example of building the quests and writing stories for those, but I feel like I'm already close to half an hour, and I'm going to have to make that another video, I think. So I hope you guys enjoyed this right now, though, and I hope that you use that resource, and I hope that you like it. And if you stay tuned, in a few days, hopefully, I'm going to be putting up another video where I take you through the actual quest generation, and hopefully it won't take as long as this video. Thank you all for listening, and I hope to see you soon.